Today we want to raise a new set of nursery. We are going to use 3 materials: the cocoa pits, the nursery tray as you are seeing them there, and the seed itself. For the cocoa pit comes in block, and before you can use them, you have to first of all dissolve them. You take block of cocoa pits and add sufficient water in them until they are well dissolved. So after that, you get your nursery tray. If you have old nursery, make sure that you wash them thoroughly before you can start filling them with cocoa pits. So these have thoroughly been washed. And then after washing them, you start filling them. This is how you are filling it. So when you want to fill it, what you will ensure is that you don't compact the cocoa pits inside the nursery tray. But when you do that, it will not allow the easy penetration of the seed roots. So it's good for you to not to compact the cocoa pits inside the nursery tray. The next step after this is to create a light depression inside each of the groove of the nursery tray. We have started dropping the seed on the nursery tray. We are dropping it one. That's how you'll be dropping it until you fill up all the nursery tray. Now the seed has been placed on the nursery tray. So the next thing we are doing now is we are covering it slightly. See the way we are covering them slightly. Cover it very lightly with the cocoa pits. And then after that, we are watering them on a daily basis till they germinate, and you continue watering them till they get to the time of planting. If you don't want to cover it slightly with cocoa pits this way, another way you can do it is by using a broom like this or any tiny object, maybe iron or a broom like a stick or something. You use it to dip the seed inside, just as I'm doing it, like lightly, and cover it. Can you see it? Put it like this, then you cover it. Put your seed, you do that one by one and cover it lightly. So that it depends. Now it depends on which one you feel that is convenient for you. You can do it in either way. Either you cover it with cocoa pits lightly, or you get a broom or anything, tiny object like this, to bury this thing slightly, just as I'm doing it, and cover it lightly with the cocoa pits. So what I do most is I cover it lightly with cocoa pits. So it just depends on you. Right. After you have finished raising your nursery, ensure you keep them in a safer place. Here what we are doing is we suspend them as you have seen them, and we don't put them on a bare floor, because there was one time that one unknown reptile will come in the night and pick up our nursery after we have finished raising them. That was the reason why we came up with this idea, and since when we have been doing this, we have been able to save from that unknown reptile. The reptile was suspected to be wild gecko. So when you finish raising your nursery, ensure you put them in a safer place. Just like use of cocoa pits, nursery tray is the best way of raising nursery, because you have a lot of advantages over the conventional way of putting them in the bare floor using soil. So this is the best, and one of the advantages of this one is that with it we have high germination rates, survival rates. Take for example, if you are raising nursery for 500 seed with this method, there's a possibility that if you are using good variety of seed, there's a possibility that you will end up to transplant all the 500 if we have 100% germination. And even if we have 80 to 90% germination, there's a possibility that you are going to transplant like 450 of the 500 seed that you raise. But with the old method, with the conventional method, if you raise 500 seed, it will hardly for you to get 300. So that is one advantage. Another advantage of this is that you are going to have your seedlings, just as you see, look at this one that is ready for transplanting. They are going to have intact root system. You see, their root system is going to be intact. So the advantage this one do is that when you transplant it, they are going to escape transplanting shock. Immediately you put them on their permanent site, they will just continue growing. Nothing like transplanting shock, unlike the conventional method. If you leave it, no matter how careful you are when you want to uproot them, they will still lose some of their root system. So that will enable them to go through transplanting shock. Sometimes 1 week, 2 weeks, depending on the seed variety. About this one, there's nothing like that. We just continue growing, immediately you transplant them, they continue growing. So meaning that they tend to grow faster compared to the method of raising nursery using conventional way. So another method is that your seed will not have direct contact with the soil, and they will be safe from any soil-borne disease. Cocopeat is factory manufactured and is safe from any kind of disease. Any sort of soil-borne disease is safe from it. Then, don't let me forget to tell you that if you need your cocopeat, your nursery tray, and high quality seed variety, don't hesitate to call me. I'm always available. And at the same time, if you want to raise your nursery, maybe if you don't want to go through the stress of raising nursery, I can also do that for you. If you look at it, you will see that our nursery, they don't have direct access to the sunlight. We use solar rig to roof them. You see, you may not use solar. You can use any other materials. Just ensure that your nursery don't have direct access to sunlight, because when they do, it's going to affect their growth system. You see, they will be having stunted growth. They will not grow faster, and even sometimes some of them will die. So for you to prevent that, it's good to cover up, to shed up, to add extra shed to your nursery. There are 2 types of cocopeat. You have Buva cocopeat and the Buva cocopeat. The Buva cocopeat is the best for raising nursery, and it's not easy to identify. When you take a look at the Buva cocopeat and the Buva cocopeat, it will be very hard for you to identify them. And if you use the Buva one, it's going to cause a lot of harm, because you see that even before your seedlings get to the point of transplanting, they will be dying. You will end up losing many of them. And that's why I advise you to get Buva cocopeat. So if you want to get Buva cocopeat, I can supply you any quantity you want. So Take care.